All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of 3 Pound Fishing. I appreciate you guys joining. Today we're going to be talking about summer baits. My top 3, stay to the end. My best one's going to be at the end. I'm saving it for the very end. But I'll tell you, we go through a ton of baits during the summertime. There's no joke. And we know that the bite eventually will get super finicky because water temperatures are going to rise and those fish are just going to really slow down. So we're going to go through my 3 favorite baits. But on top of that, we're going to talk about, why do I make a transition from one to the other, during a day of fishing. So that's really important as to why you're making it, what you're seeing on the screen, on your live scope screen that makes you make that change. And that's what we're going to talk about as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you also want to bring it to the next level, please consider joining the membership. Hit the join button. There's a lot of content that gets put out there, non-edited, just for the members. So if you want to know about settings, you want to know something, you can go right to those small videos to make that happen if you're a member. So anyway, I appreciate you. Also, the Father's Day sales are going on right now on the websites, everything including the rods. This is the only time of the year that the rods are on sale, so check those out. But let's put some fish in the boat. Let's go through the baits, and I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. We talk about baits all the time on the guide trips, and this one's for you. So here we go. There's our first crappie. Now it ain't a big one, but it's our first crappie. Let's talk about this. All right, guys, there's our first crappie. Not a big one, that's for sure. Right there, first crappie of the trip. First bait is gonna be a bait with a paddle tail. Let me give you some prime examples of that bait. Now, a paddle tail can be described as several different things. You can obviously have a little bitty paddle tail like this guy right there, but you also can have like fork tails like this. That's gonna be my number 1 bait, is a bait with a tail that has some movement. There's a lot of different variety of these. Hardcore Plastics is one of the ones that I use. They have a different variety, which I think is nice. But at the end of the day, it's just a tail with movement. Now, what I try to do with those baits is I do try to cut those down quite a bit. I want it to be a small profile, but I want to have action. And one of the reasons why I like to use those baits, especially when I have fish that I feel like are moving very slow to the bait. They need to see something, like I don't feel like they're seeing it. Now again, that's giving a lot of vibration through the water. It's my most active bait. I usually, like I said, try to go with a smaller version, but obviously there's larger ones as well. It's based on your lake and how your lake performs, but I like smaller versions of the paddle tails, and they, some companies make really small ones. So number 1 bait is with a paddle tail, some action. I was using actually the king's tail, which is pretty cool. That was very nice, very light. So I'm going to probably be using all the rods just to go through these baits, but that was the king's tail right there, the 8-footer. Dude, we got him. That was awesome. Oh, man. That was awesome. These guys just sitting out here like this right here. Boom. Good eater. Man. I think we found the home of the smaller fish right here. But fun nonetheless. A lot of fun. Look at this nice little grouping right here. You can really bring it in right there. These are going to be your 2 biggest fish right there. And so it's just a battle of trying to get your bait through all that. Here, we got one to move. Here we go. There we go. That's a good fish. All right, guys, that was a good fish right there. Bam! Nice solid eater, solid eater. We let them go here at 3 Pound Fishing when I do my videos 100% of the time, but check out the guide service, guys, if you're interested in getting out on the water. We just have an absolute blast, and we have been just doing incredible this year all the way through June. July is going to be fantastic, and anyway, check out the guide service if you're interested. You can go just email me at 3poundfishing@gmail.com. So my second bait is going to be, you know, I love hair jigs. It's definitely a staple in my boat. If I can catch them with a hair jig, all day long. Now let's talk about hair jigs. Hair jigs, in my opinion, can be large, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. I think the hair jig that most people use is a 1/16. I think that's a good, you know, let me give you an example. Now my hair jigs are split up into sizes. So 1/8, 1/16, a variety of different colors. Let's talk about the colors. I think that's going to be really important. So these are a lot of my 1/16 and 1/8, but mostly 1/16. Now this is something that I usually take with me to like a Grenada, a Truman. When I'm vertical fishing, 1/16 is absolutely stellar. When I'm casting a 1/16, like you saw there, I typically won't have a split shot with it. What I'm trying to do is slow that bait up significantly so those fish see it, and so it's really powerful when I feel like they need something slow moving but they can't, and they can't see it, so it's a big target. I love a 1/16. That's absolutely a tournament bait for me. Rarely do I fish with a 1/32 in those muddy water situations, but that's a 1/16. Now I like small bodied hair jigs. It's very important to me. A lot of my hair jigs that I provide are small bodied. Now if I go to a lake that requires smaller hair jigs, which is my lake, it's the 1/32 ounce. And again, I have several of these just filled up with 1/32. Now I always brag about it, and the Let's Go Fishing pack, you can get 45 of these for like 45 bucks, and right now even these are on sale. You get a packet of 45 hair jigs for like $42 or something, so less than $1 a piece. You do not have to spend a lot of money on hair jigs. Don't ever think you need to spend a lot of money on hair jigs. So yeah, let's go back to it. That's it. Take advantage of that Father's Day sale on the website. Seriously, all this stuff. I was just fishing with the hammer's on sale too. So all right, let's go. More fish in the boat. Now, as we go back to this next spot here, guys, I wanted to talk about mounts. I get a lot of questions about setup of your live scope, etc. It's really important that your live scope be extremely efficient. So when I see people with their live scope systems all the way down on the floor of their front of their boat, I know that they're having to reach down there constantly, which would drive me absolutely bonkers. So consider a raise to get your I use the folding mount from Cornfield Fishing Gear, but something that's efficient. When I bend forward, I want it to be the smallest bend forward as possible. I want it to be super efficient. Very, very important in my book that monitor is within just a very small bend to get to. So consider Cornfield Fishing Gear. They have the bridge, they have everything. I know that they're not cheap, but they're quality, and you know what comes along with that is also the customer service, and that to me is the most important thing. Mark and those guys will take care of you. It's not a sales pitch, it's reality. When you buy from them, you're basically becoming part of the family, and they will take care of you if you ever have any problems. And thankfully you rarely have any problems, to be quite honest with you. But efficiency is everything. And that's the folding mount, so if you're curious. And then I have the bridge down there to add stability. So that's a good cast. There we go. Good fish too. Saw him come out of the center. Look at this guy coming up. This is a big fish. That could be a tournament fish. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A white. Wow. Is a tournament fish. And we don't typically have white crappie on our lake, and that is a slab. That is a tournament fish, 100%. Every bit of a 14, 15-inch fish. And I gotta tell you, you gotta love it. We're probably gonna keep this guy for pictures. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. We'll keep that one for pictures. All right, I'm actually gonna give you 4 baits today. One extra as a bonus, okay? So third bait, and again, I'm gonna give you 4 baits, but baits with just big, bulky baits with big ribs, aggressive baits. These are baits typically, again, that I'm using in Grenada. I have a full array here from Hardcore that are all gold because I really do like gold on some lakes. I'll share that at a later time, but I also like natural colors, so they really hooked me up with gold and natural colors. You can see those are all coming through right there. So I'm a big fan of monkey milk. I'm a big fan of all natural looking colors. But when I go to a muddy lake, I really do enjoy gold, and I think it's important that you have big baits that are available. Big 3-inch, 3.5-inch ribbed up baits. In fact, this was the hot bait that we used on Grenada last February. So every lake's built differently. I always tell people that. A big fish here is different than a big fish, obviously, in Grenada, but also the baits that they're attracted to. And so having something set aside just for those particular lights is really important. So we got one more bait. It's going to be a bonus bait. It's going to be the #1 bait. I'm wondering if you can guess what it is. You can comment below what you think that #1 bait is going to be. I'm pretty sure if you've been watching these videos, you might know, but we're going to catch some fish first. All right, let's do it. Crappie nonetheless. Man, they're loving this pink jigs, guys. You guys need to be checking out the pink jigs on my website. Small guy, but man, they are legitimately smoking the 3-pound fishing pink hair jig and just flat out jig. I can pretty much put anything on it and they're smoking it. There we go. Boom. Small guy, but hey, that was fun. They are loving this pink jig. You know, that's the other thing, is just figuring out what color is really getting these fish to activate. And right now it just seems like it's pink for us. Bright pink. And honestly, I'm not a big color guy. I'm more of a vibration and size. Look at this guy right here. Perfect, right over the top of this guy. There we go. And I watched that guy come in. Even though you didn't see it that great on the screen, I was watching a movement. That's a good fish. All right, guys. Ooh, he got off. Oh, you're not gonna get dirty my boat up. All right, good fish right there. Great fish. Let me show you the last bait and my favorite bait. And you see a lot of it. 1 32nd ounce hair jig. That's the gumdrop. Unbelievable bait. On fire right now for sure. I think it's a great summer bait. Without a doubt, my #1. I love saving it to the end because it is on fire. Again, you can buy these at the website. What makes these hair jigs so special, regardless of the style that you go with, is the body size that we have is small. And I think fish love and appreciate the small bodies. Sometimes they don't want a meal, they just want a little snack, and that's a little bitty snack, and they love it. So check out the deals on the website. The Father's Day deals are going on still. They're gonna end on Sunday, on Father's Day at the end of the day. So the rods, everything is on sale, and it doesn't get any better. The hog fishing nets, the sniping braid, all of this is on sale, and it just doesn't happen but once a year for Father's Day weeks. In particular, the rods. The rods do not go on sale but one time a year. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Please consider the joining the membership, and those are my baits. Those are my baits for 2026, and my boat goes out every day loaded up with them. So take it easy, guys.